It's cold, it's wet, there's patches of rain, but that's not stopping thousands of students from gathering here in downtown Toronto to protest what they say are tuition fees that are too high. This year's protest is working alongside community groups and unions like the Canadian Union of Public Employees to get their message even louder.
It wasn't something you see every day at York University. Hundreds of students putting personal, political, and religious beliefs aside to unite towards one common goal: reducing tuition fees. Several hundred York students were taking part in the annual protest called the Day of Action, organized by the Canadian Federation of Students. After a short rally in Very Hall, the students boarded buses and headed downtown to join students from across the city. Meanwhile, at Queen's Park, the Canadian Federation of Students held a small press conference to show their solidarity with union workers and community groups. Among them, Sid Ryan, the president of the Canadian Union of Public Employees Ontario, was on hand to lend support to the cause. The Student Federation is looking for tuition fees to be reduced to 2003 levels and then frozen when the new provincial framework for tuition fees is released in February.
We have the highest tuition fees in the country. This has left Ontario students owing almost $1.7 billion to the Ontario Student Assistance Program and $5 billion to the Canada Student Loans Program.
The large group of students downtown marched through the streets, bringing traffic to a halt. York, Ryerson, the University of Toronto, and George Brown College students were among the throngs of shouting students led by the student union leaders. Similar protests were held in 13 other cities across the province.
Recently I've been reading the papers, and it says that our premier said in order to get through these tough times, we just need to tighten our belts. Well, the premier of Ontario has faced no tough times.
Not only was the former York Federation of Students president leading the cheers, but a significant portion of the crowd was made up of York students.
This Day of Action itself is not the end of the campaign, because of course we realize that the provincial government can withstand one day of action. What we need to do from this point on is continue the political pressure, whether it be through lobbying, whether it be through petition collections, or whether it be through political actions.
As the group approached Queen's Park, the numbers had dropped off, but even still, hundreds braved the wind, rain, and hail to show their outrage with the Ontario government right till the end.
From this rally, if they would drop some fees, so it'd be awesome. Seriously, that's what we're here for, basically.
The Minister of Training, Colleges and Universities, John Malloy, who was not invited to the event, said he's always happy to meet with students, and said he has met with the Canadian Federation of Students on several occasions and will continue to listen to their concerns.
I would say that the minister was receptive, but that he spent most of the time listening and not a lot of time talking. And so, my concern is that, when you talk to, the minister about the government's track record, they're, talk as if it's exemplary.
The protest ended here at Queen's Park, but it appears the message of reducing tuition fees and eliminating poverty have fallen on deaf ears. The Premier, Dalton McGuinty, is in Guadalajara, Mexico today to support Toronto's bid for the 2015 Pan Am Games. Scott McLean, Queen's Park, Excalibur.